I'm Michael K. Kushishian, an Armenian American born in Hollywood, raised in Glendale. Today marks 96 years since the Armenian Genocide. April 24th, 1915, the Ottoman Empire, now known as Turkey, massacred upwards of 1.5 million Armenians. I want to talk to you about the root of a genocide. The concept of hate trickling into an injustice such as murder. The core concept is that hate and anger are wrong. That naturally human beings are not supposed to exude those emotions, at least not to each other, and at least not to the extent that would require us to assume that we should eliminate an entire people from the face of this planet. If we're to think that anger and hate are going to solve the problems that come from anger and hate, really it's like a downward spiral. The problem is not the feeling of hate. The problem is not the feeling of anger. The problem is not the feeling of fear. Those are natural, instinctual emotions that are programmed into our DNA. Instead, it's us reaching out to develop patterns connected to those emotions, behaviors that can solve those problems. It's as though there's no anger more intense than the anger that spews from something like murder. And it's as though there's no better reaction to that anger than to prove that the reason why you're angry is because you believe that life is meant to be loved, that people are meant to love each other. If you really believe that people are meant to love each other, true deep down inside, there is nothing on this planet that will upset you more than the lack thereof. And you will naturally want to do nothing but spread love as an example of that. And if we want to go forward, we got to go backward. On a day like April 24th, 1915, the day that represents the Armenian Holocaust, the day that represents a day of genocide, the day that represents a day of sorrow and mourning and anger and hate, it may just make sense to inverse the whole thing by throwing some vinegar in that oil, by putting some love in with that hate to unbalance the whole thing and possibly cause a domino effect that may change the world as we know it. Instead of closing our businesses down, not sending our kids to school, marching in front of the Turkish embassy with nothing but hate propaganda, we should instead possibly give our proceeds from our businesses to charitable foundations that are helping people that are suffering from Holocaust and genocide and injustice today. Send our kids to school with aims to spread love and stand up for the name of peace. Not march in front of the Turkish embassy with hate, but instead show them love as an example of what we expected from them. The human race, Kush Kitchen, live accordingly. That's what I was trying to say.